What's up, lads and ladettes? How are we all doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastically well. So, as you read by the title, this video is the last video that I'm going to be making for the year. I'm going to spend the last 10, 11 days, whatever amount of days there is in December. I'm going to spend the last chunk of time this year sort of relaxing, recouping, doing a few personal bits and bobs, as well as preparing for 2022. So 2021 was an interesting year. I mean, of course, in 2020, COVID started or got kicked off real fucking hardcore all over the place. Went into lockdown, blah, blah, blah. Couldn't say hi to people. It really fucking sucked. So I started, really hardcore getting into YouTubey stuff, and then, I had some bouts of depression and hating the world, which I think most people had during 2020 and 2021. But, we move on. We move on. So I'm going to be prepping for a lot of stuff that I'm going to be doing in 2022. One, I've given myself another sub goal, and it's going to be another one of those, milestone-esque goals, and I'm thinking of setting it for either 2,000 or 2,500, either 2,000, 2,500, around that sort of mark. That's sort of the goal that I would like to reach by the end of next year, which is doable. Who knows? The other thing that I'm also going to be focusing on next year is a few other, I guess you can call them play-to-earn games, but also other action RPGs and a lot of games that I really, really like. Right, a lot of different types of games that I really enjoy. Some competitively, some, challenging and all that sort of shit. So I'm going to be sort of prepping a few things between now and then. And there's going to be a couple of blockchain games that I'm going to be playing, or, at least trying out, checking out and things like that. There's one that I really want to get into. It's called Lost Relics. And it's right up my alley. It's, It's a blockchain thing, it's an NFT thing, yeah, but I've always liked the idea of certain weapons and items in-game that are incredibly rare having a real-world value to them, which I think is really neat, and I'm going to get into it because it's an ARPG. There's missions, quests, and all that sort of stuff. There's dungeons, there's a whole bunch of different stuff, and they're going to be adding in a lot of different things. Another one that I'm also going to be checking out is one called Immersus. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Entropia universe in a few different ways, but that's connected off of the Wax blockchain, where Lost Relics is connected with the Ethereum blockchain through the engine stuff. So I'm going to be a lot of exciting stuff next year, and also when it comes to live streaming. I will be live streaming, but I'm going to be live streaming over on Twitch. Now, I know technically if I wanted to make some, consistent scratch from, ad revenue and shit like that, I could, I should live stream here on YouTube, but I just prefer streaming on Twitch. I don't know why, I just prefer streaming on Twitch. So, if you want to follow me over on Twitch, links in the description. Another thing I'll also be doing next year is I'll be reinstating my Patreon account and getting that, sorting that out, a couple of different bits and bobs and things like that. And so yeah, I'll be reinstating my Patreon. So if you want to support me over on there, you'll be able to next year. I'm not reinstating it now. I'm going to reinstate it in January, and that way, for those of you that are still kind of connected to it, I think Devon327 and I think Bill Flatter, and I'm not sure, I think one other person. It's been a while since I've looked at it, so please, forgive my shit memory. But I will be reinstating that in January, so if you wanted to pull out and you're still on there, because apparently they do that, but if you wanted to pull out, then you can, and all that sort of stuff, so nothing will come out, you can cancel it, and all that good shit. So a lot of stuff is going to be changing and happening next year. and it's gonna be an interesting thing. It's gonna be a really interesting thing. But the last part of this video, because I'm not going to keep you guys too long, just wanted to tell you guys what my plans are for 2022. That I'm not going to be uploading anything for the rest of the year. I'm just going to chill and relax and do a few things, basically prepare for 2022. But it's Monday. Well, for me it's Monday, but it is payday. It is share day. So we're going to have a look at the exchange here. And it looks like everything was a single peck payout, which I'm not surprised. Ancient Greece, obviously 5. I've been shuffling these around a little bit, so I've got more Crystal Palace than I did last time, and I've got less Ancient Greece. Just been shuffling a few things around. But yeah, so Ancient Greece paid out 1, Crystal Palace paid out 1, 1 PEC per share, and New Treasure Island also paid out 1 PEC per share. Now, as far as I'm aware, Mayhem is still going on. It's still kicking. It's still happening. It's still doing its thing. Oh, and let's see. Yeah, Arcadia's been Arcadia. Arcadia's just been Arcadia. I haven't really been focusing on Arcadia at the moment. The payouts have been pretty inconsistent, and the cost of the deeds have been pretty volatile. Yeah, so what I've been doing is I've been selling them when they're high and then buying other things, but I'm keeping 5 and I'm going to be reinvesting into them next year because I'll have more time and hopefully a little bit more cash. But what does this tell me at the moment? Like, not much. We're still in Mayhem, but what this tells me is there are still people, despite Mayhem going on, there are still people consistently playing on New Treasure Island, so it could be like a half and half sort of thing. But when it comes to the Crystal Palace Station and the Ancient Greece, because a lot of the things on Ancient Greece and Crystal Palace is to do with like big hunts, like from what I've heard, big hunts, hunting big mobs to get rare items, unlimited, limited, but just rare items to drop and then sell. Because they're probably, not so much spending their time doing those things, and they are doing Mayhem, Ancient Greece is seeing a little bit less, and, Crystal Palace is seeing a little bit less player traffic because of Mayhem. I'm expecting these to go back to normal once Mayhem is done. New Treasure Island is still up in the air. I have no idea how well it's going to do. It's either going to do good or it's going to do bad. If it does the same sort of thing as Crystal Palace, then I'll be pretty happy. But you know what? 10 PED a pop, even if it does the same as Ancient Greece, I'm happy with it. It won't do like Ancient Greece because it's on Calypso and all that stuff, but still. Who dat? Just some chap jumping around. But yeah. That's how it's looking today. I'm not too bothered with I don't have enough shares to really be like, oh man, or hell yeah. I don't really have enough shares. Maybe at the end of next year when I've got like, enough to give a shit about, then maybe. Once I have enough shares that, them paying out each week means that I can reinvest into more shares, then maybe I'll give a shit, but at the moment, nah, I don't really give a shit. But at the moment, I'm still chilling on Arcadia. I'm currently swanting Gallads and the Carabox, right? Because believe it or not, these guys are dropping... I'll just get rid of this. They're dropping this stuff here. Oh, and the orange paint cans. I got a thing of orange paint cans off of the Carabox, which... doesn't say it on the wiki, so I don't know if it's a new ad that they just haven't looked at, but oh well. But let's have a look at some of these, right? So obviously you've got the Socket 1 components, which I'll be keeping to make my damage enhancers, and you've got the focus lens components, which are a little bit more rare, but they got a pretty decent markup at the moment. Pretty fucking decent markup. And then of course you've got the tier 1 components, which have things around, 120%. markup, which is always nice, and you have tier 2 components. Now, I don't think the... with the tier 2 components, actually, these ones are dropping from the noosels. So this stuff is what's dropping. But the cool thing about it, right, is you got the Gallad hides, which don't sell a lot, but it takes a lot to get a lot, right? Because you're going to be swanting these guys, or I'm going to be swanting these guys. So I can see a little bit of a return from that. And then you have the Karabok hides. Now, these are the interesting ones. The Karabok hides have a massive markup. They obviously don't sell a lot, but from what I've seen, or from what I've heard, these Karabok hides are used for the texturing stuff. Like, they're really sought after for the texturing, so I don't know if it's the fact that they're so rare, or the fact that people try to try to buy it directly from players. I have no idea. You know, there could be someone that hangs around the Karabox and looking for people and saying, hey, you know, I'll buy it at this, so you don't have to deal with the auction price. You know, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. And if that is the case, then feel free to hit me up in-game. If you want to buy some Karabok, I'll sell them at a nice cheap price for you. But yeah, between everything, I think 2022 is going to be an interesting year. New games I'm going to be playing, new stuff, new schedule, and trust me, once I start, I'm not planning on stopping. I'm planning on having like consistent uploads, 7 days a week, 365 days. That's the plan. That's the plan anyway. But I'm going to be leaving it there for today, guys. If you enjoyed, like, sub, all that good shit. But this was just a hi and a goodbye until next year. So, in the end, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy all the good shit that apparently happens this time of year. And I hope you all, you know, have as good of a time this festive season as you possibly can, and I will see you guys in the next one next year. Later, guys.